Hi, my name is Renee, and this is my story. So, I grew up in what you could probably say a dysfunctional home. I lived with my parents until I was 5, and during those 5 years of my life, I remember nothing but my parents fighting all the time. And at certain points, I would hear my father never lay a hand on my mother, but yet he would always hit the wall. That was his way of relieving his frustrations. When I was 5, my parents decided to divorce. And for me, it was an exciting thing because I would never have to hear my parents fight anymore. So as we fast forward, my father remarried to my next door neighbor. So my little best friend became my stepsister. So with that, I had a stepmother and a stepbrother and a stepsister. So through the course of that time, life was good. However, my father was an alcoholic, which I didn't learn until later in life as I got older. So there were times where my dad didn't come home at night, and when he did, again, now my parents are fighting. So that was kind of how I grew up, and I never learned with all of these children in the house that I was valuable, that I was worthy of anything. I never had my parents tell me that they were proud of me, and so I just assumed that was how life was. My parents then divorced when I was 21 because of my dad's drinking. And the learned behavior in my home became my behavior. So if I was angry or upset at things, I would hit the wall. That's the things that I would go to. That was my outlet. And so that was one of the things that I kept with me. What I learned is that both of my parents, my biological mother, then eventually committed suicide. So the depression that they had, their struggles in life became my struggles in life. So I grew up struggling with depression. That was the thing that I turned to. With my father being an alcoholic, I have siblings that became alcoholics and drug addicts. For me, it was depression. If I could take one of those, I would take the depression, but even then, it's still such a heart-wrenching thing that I struggle with to this day. These hard times in my life, one of the things, or a couple of the things that I learned to do was music. I loved music. My father was a musician, and he played music nonstop. I wanted nothing more than to be a part of the music world. So for me, when I was struggling with this and depressed, music is what I would turn to. I would just turn on the radio, and it was where I could let anything inside of me come out by listening to music. The other thing that I really loved to do was journal. I would allow myself to put all of my fears, frustrations, sadness on paper. It was a way for me it was an outlet that I could get this out and not hold it inside anymore. And then I could just throw the paper away. Nobody had to read it, but it was just something that I could do for my outlet. So going through these experiences in my life, one of the things that I will say is, I don't know that I would change my upbringing because of it. It's allowed me to be who I am today. And because of that, I am able to share my experiences with my children, experience them with the children that I come in contact into the classrooms. And it's just allowed me to not be ashamed of who I am, that I have been put in this position through these circumstances for a time that I can turn around and acknowledge and understand why children are going through what they are, because I've walked in a lot of the same shoes that they are walking through right now. If you've gone through situations, whether they're similar to mine or your own story, know that, like myself, there's people out there that they want to love on you and they want to walk beside you through this, and you're not alone, and you are valued. You deserve to know that, to hear that, and experience that daily, because you're here in this world for a purpose.